Page 12, Morning Has Broken. At the top of page 12, they're showing you some tempo indications. Tempo is an Italian word that means time. In music, we use it to mean speed. So if someone says, what's the tempo of the piece, they mean how fast is it going to go, or how slow is it going to go. Now, the words in bold they list there are Italian words, and the rough English translation is on the right side of the equal sign, and it is a rough English translation. Now notice these are not in order by speed, these are alphabetical order. All right, so don't think the allegro is the fastest and moderato is the slowest. Morning is broken, this piece is indicated as moderato. Moderato to me, I mean, these are relative. Speeds are relative. What's moderato to one person is not moderato to another. All right, so we can't say it's hard and fast. This is moderato. Moderato to me is a good walk, not a real fast walk, not a power walk, and not a slow. It's not a stroll. It's just a walk, sort of like a hike. If you were out hiking, how fast would you walk? And that's to me is moderato. Andante is like a stroll, a slow walk. Okay, andante to a lot of people means slow, and it's not slow. That's incorrect. Andante is just a little slower than moderato. It's just a stroll. All right, it's a comfortable walk. The others, you get an idea. Now, if you get a metronome, of course, there a lot of times they'll have ranges of tempo ranges on the metronome, where a moderato is between this speed and this speed, somewhere in there. And even that's not true totally. I mean, it's all relative. It's up to you. It's what is it. There are more tempo markings available than what's shown here. A lot more. Okay. So you may just keep a dictionary handy or somewhere where you can look it up and notice what the tempo markings are. Then, as you can see, they combine some of these words together. So you get, like they're showing allegro moderato. And you're saying, what? Wait a minute, do you want an allegro or moderato? Make up your mind. And the idea is it's combined. Moderately quick means a little slower than quick. It's just sort of quick. And you can decide what that is, because I have no idea. It's just go for it, right? It's a little slower than quick. It's sort of quick or something. Underneath the tempo, they're giving you a review of the primary chords in F major, and these are important, so you need to know these in both hands, all right? The 1 chord, the 4 chord, the 5/7 chord, and the 1. And these don't have to be played as block chords where they're all at the same time. They can be any arrangements like they're showing you the other. They're still the chords, because altogether the brain will put it all together and it'll remember the whole chord, the sound of it, even though you're not playing them at the same time. So they're still chords. And at the bottom of page 13, they're showing you examples of how the left hand could be played, other arrangements, and again you can improvise, meaning do it any way you want. Just these are the basic notes, the notes in the chord. Play them in however arrangements you want to play them. Experiment, have fun. I don't have to do them here. The first one is one at a time in broken chords. Right? The second one, I'm not sure I agree with the second one in this, because this piece has a 1 2 3 1 2 3 feel, and that type of accompaniment in the bottom of page 13 has a 2 feel. It's a 1 2 1 2, but we're in a 1 2 3 1 2 3 piece. So if I go 1 2 1 2, so to make it work here, I almost have to play those in a 3 feel. So 1 2 3 1 2, boom boom. I would think instead of playing the bottom note again here, I might play one of the other notes instead. Something like that. That to me makes more sense, because I want to retain that 1 2 3 1 2 3 feel to the piece. However, it's up to you. If you like it, it sounds okay to you, go for it. Now, in Morning is Broken, I want to point out a few minor things here. Look at the beginning of this, at the bottom of page 12. Look at the fingering in the right hand. 1, 2, 3, 5. That's no big deal. That's an extended F major chord position. And that's the fingering for it, for the right hand. That's fine. But notice in that 5, it's a 5-4. So immediately when you play it with your 5th finger, immediately substitute the 4th finger. That way we have the 5th finger available for the G. So it's at the top of page 13, look at the first couple measures. You have a 1, 2, 3. Now here you got to move the 4th finger over to get the C. Isn't that nice? Now in the 4th measure over there, they have a 4 and they don't tell you anything else. So you have a choice. You can do a 4, 3, 1, just like you did. You were in this position. So you can, or you can do a 4, 2, 1. Just know that the 2 then has to come down to play the G. If you do that, you have a choice. Isn't that nice? And page 13 on the second line, 3rd measure over, you're playing the D with 3rd finger, and the next measure you're going to play the C with 5th finger. It works because you're between phrases, and we like a little silence between the phrases anyway, so the time it takes you to lift your hand and move it gives that silence, so you're here. Okay, and that's nice. You're saying, but the pedal messes that up. Well, I'll talk about the pedal in a minute. At the end, on page 13, last 2 measures for the right hand, you have an F, and then you have an A and an F. Well, we're back to this F chord pattern. We're just not playing the C. We're only playing these notes. So I recommend you finger that last chord in the last measure with a 2-5. Like that. Left hand, no biggie, you got the chords. You can handle those. For the pedaling, this is showing legato pedaling almost throughout, not totally. I'd like to adjust that just a little bit. You can experiment and see what you think. For instance, I'd like to hear a little silence between the phrases in the right hand. The left hand doesn't have any phrases marked, so the left hand is going to play legato throughout the whole piece, unless it has a rest. So just connect the notes with the fingers as best you can. But the right hand has phrasing. So it's like here on page 12, between the 3rd and 4th measures, you have a 5. Lift up and put back down so we get a little silence. 1, 2, 3. Like so. Well, to accommodate that, I need the pedal to go up and down with the right hand. It needs to go up with the right hand. It's going to go down after you play the notes because I'm using a delayed pedal. For instance, here at the beginning, I'm going to push the pedal down right after I play the notes in that 2nd measure. The next measure, I'm going to play the notes and then change the pedal. Now here, I'm going to lift the pedal with the right hand. I'm going to keep the left hand down because it's legato, and then I'm going to play the notes in the next measure, and right after I play them, I'm going to push the pedal down. So, to demonstrate that, it's like so. So we get a little silence in the right hand. Now it's not so bad at the end of the line there on page 12 going into page 13 because the pedal comes up with the hands, or with the right hand. Well, with both hands. Yay, okay? So you're here. So we get a little silence because it's a new phrase. And again, a new phrase. Lift the pedal up with the hands. So we get a little silence. Like so. I don't explain that much detail all the time, but if you take this and apply it to the other pieces, it's the same thing. If it's legato pedaling, it is. There is a repeat sign at the end of this on page 13, meaning we're going to play it twice. Makes sense. It says there's a note there at the end, retard second time, which means on the repeat, you can slow it down second time. Retardando second time. First time you don't slow it down, second time you do. Now, there is a note at the beginning of this, right under moderato. It says 8VA second time, which means when you repeat it, the right hand instead of here is going to go up to here. Only the right hand. The left hand stays where it is. If they wanted both hands to go up, there has to be something in the music which indicates both hands. Otherwise, that 8VA only applies to the staff it's near. Anything on that staff, it doesn't matter which hand is playing it. It's not the hand that's important. It's the notes. The notes in the staff that are important. So anything in that staff goes up an octave. So as I said, if they wanted both staffs to be involved, they had to put an indication both hands or something like that. So you know to move both hands up. So the first time you're here, right? Second time you're here. Now, a word of warning here. I may be throwing a lot at you. You can decide how much of this you want to get. Maybe you'll wait and get it the second time you go through the book or whatever. I don't know. But when you're playing notes down here versus playing notes up here, these notes generally are not quite as loud as these. Or if I go down, it's like the lower I go, the louder they tend to get by themselves, all right? So keep that in mind, that when you go up an octave, don't play louder in the right hand because the notes tend to want to be a little softer. Bring the left hand down to accommodate that. In other words, the overall second time is going to be a little softer than the first time. So I'm here, it says MP. Well, that's medium soft. I don't know what medium soft is. You decide. It's a little louder than soft, whatever that is. So if soft is too soft. A soft would be like what I'm going to do the left hand. The left hand will be soft. That MP applies to the melody. So the melody is going to be medium soft. The accompaniment is going to be softer than that, right? We want to hear the melody. So when I do it the second time around, this MP might be a hair softer than the first time, and if that's the case, the left hand has to come down to accommodate that. Don't let the left hand overpower the melody up here. Yuck. Don't do that. Please don't do that. I've heard many pianists do it that way, and it's terrible. The melody controls everything. The accompaniment is there to support. Make sure it's doing it. It's supporting. It's not taking over. There's one little gotcha in here I want to point out in the right hand. On page 13, at the end of the second line, you're playing that dotted half note G with the second finger. Well, at the beginning of the third line, you're playing the A with second finger. Same finger, two notes. It works okay because we're between phrases and we want a little silence between the phrases, so lifting your hand up and moving it like that gives us that silence, this. And that's fine. Having said all that junk, let's try this out and see what happens. Now, there's a lot of arrangements of this piece. This is a well-known piece. I even did an arrangement of it. It's not my arrangement, it's somebody else who wrote it. But I recorded and uplinked it to my other YouTube channel. I'll try and remember to put a link in the description if you'd like to hear that one. If you want to buy that arrangement, you'd have to search on it, the arranger's name, and the whole bit. If you search on Google, because I bought it online. I think I bought it online. I don't remember. But if you'll find that with that arranger's name, that's probably it. So I'll give us 3 counts and let's try this together. Slowly. We're not going to play it up to speed. Alright, so right hand here, left hand here. Here we go. Foot's on the pedal. 1, ready, go.